everyone. To garner the best experience of this year's TEDx, we request everyone to please put their phones on switch off mode. Thank you. Please put your phones on switch off mode. To garner the best experience of this year's TEDx, we request everyone to please put their phones on switch off mode. Thank you. Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
We have to pay attention. Forget about everything now. It is only work now. Deepak sir is not here till now. है ना? हमें जब वो आके बैठते हैं ना हमें तभी पता लग जाएगा. मेरी ऐसे बोलूं that means that person is here. अभी person नहीं है. अभी नहीं है.
हेलो 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 ठीक हेलो
Hello.
ठीक हेलो 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 हेलो
पेन से काट दो पता. नाम क्या? मैंने एक बार बोल दिया, आपकी बार आपको बोलना है. आप बोलो आपकी चांस है.
एकता मैम
कॉल.
एकता मैम रश्मि मैम अबे कौन है एकता मैम कौन है आपने भी यस मैम मैम ऑफ है अभी तो Hello?
Hello, hello.
Everyone please kindly switch off your phones to garner the best experience of the program.
Everyone is requested to please switch off their phones. Thank you. I don't think so. It's an open secret that we all need an initial spark and inspiring accomplishments in our lives to fuel the big ones. Think of your little accomplishments as kindling. When we want a bonfire, we don't start by lighting a big log. We collect a small pile of hay or some dry, dead grass. We light that and then add small and bigger sticks before feeding your tree stump into the blaze. Similarly, it's the flicker which starts fires that eventually builds enough heat to enkindle the spark, to grow, to learn, to achieve.
A very pleasant morning to you all and a warm welcome to our gracious speakers. Dr. Mukesh Jindal, Mr. Saad Alam Khan, Dr. Sachita Pasi Sabharwal, Mr. Sanjeev Jain and People Baba. Respected Director, Alcon Group of Schools, Dr. Ashok Pandey, Dr. Deepak Raj Singh Best, Charismatic Educator and Influencer, Addie Williams, Principal, Alcon International School, Mr. Sanjay Yadav, Vice Principal, Mr. Puneet Duggal, Admin Head, Mr. Gaurav Sharma, Head Secondary Stage, Dr. Ekta K. Ratra, HM Middle Stage, Ms. Sunanda S. Kumar, HM Preparatory Stage, Ms. Kavita Shah, HM Foundation Stage, Ms. Pooja Shandilya, esteemed guests, our dear mentors and lovely participants as attendees.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty and the brilliant minds of tomorrow, welcome to a journey that transcends the boundaries of imagination and kindles the spark of ideas within each of us. Today, in the hallowed halls of Alcon International, we gather not just as students and educators, but as torchbearers of innovation, embarking on a quest to enkindle the spark that will give birth to the kin of ideas that shape our future.
I, Shashwat, along with my friend Shabi, serve as the compares of the day. And it is our distinct privilege to extend our heartfelt greetings to the 4th edition of AhlconIntl School 2023. TEDxAhlconIntl is the gateway to a world of enigmatic opportunities with small initiatives turned into limitless experiences. It is a platform for change makers, ideators, and dreamers to find their unique pathways to arousing problems and their simple solutions.
Today unfolds as a day of intellectual richness, featuring brilliant speakers, thought-provoking videos, and captivating conversations, all encapsulated under the resounding theme, Enkindle the Spark, Creating the Kin of Ideas.
TED, born out of the imaginative vision of architect and artist Richard Saul Wurman in 1984, is a symphony of ideas in the realms of technology, entertainment, and design. In the wake of its success emerged TEDx, a constellation of independently curated events that echoes the TED spirit. The X symbolizes the autonomy granted to communities, schools, or organizations to craft their own TED-like experiences, weaving together local narratives and diverse voices.
In the words of Albert Einstein, imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world. As we stand on the brink of a journey that celebrates the power of imagination, I invite our esteemed principal to share a welcome note. Ladies and gentlemen, let us warmly welcome our erudite principal, Mr. Sanjay Yadav, on the stage to ignite the spark of curiosity and imagination within us all.
Very good morning to everyone gathered here. Certainly, it is a day we have been looking forward to because this is one of the most exciting day in our calendar. And what makes it more exciting is the gathering of esteemed guests here, accomplished speakers who are going to share their heart out with us, their journey. My very wonderful team of students and teachers who worked with their innovation, with their ideas, with their passion to make this mega event happen in our calendar. And of course, most enthusiastic attendees. I want to compliment, my compliment begins with, first of all, each one of you who took this time out, who felt that yes, this is the event I must attend, because this is your first willingness, which is going to lead you to be a change maker, which is going to give you the ideas, and this brings a lot of excitement to us. I can say that yes, we are excited for a few thoughts. Number one, we are excited that we are hosting 4th edition of this TEDx at Alcon International School, and we consider it as one of the most significant and mega event in our calendar. So we have always been looking forward to, and this has become possible only because of these wonderful team members who made this happen. And they all connect with one simple thought, that education goes much beyond simply learning and developing. In fact, they believe that education and the process involved in it should ultimately lead to awakening. Awakening of mind, because we are living in that world which may be flat, which may be interconnected, but at the same time it needs to be a wiser and kinder place to live. So these are the echoes and thoughts which are expressed in their sentiments, and I'm sure that everybody connects well with that. Having looked at the journey of all the wonderful and most erudite speakers, it's just that the whole idea of connecting the dots, bringing the people together, and creating that inspiration with the ideas which have not just been thought, but they have been practiced. They have been lived with passion. They have been lived with somewhat like a mission for life. And they are here to create a mission for our youngsters. So we together, we celebrate this achievement. We are excited once again for this entire ambience which has been so beautifully created. And I must acknowledge every member who has been responsible for creating this ambience, because the learning places, I must say the artistic impression or the joy of learning places plays a very vital, very significant role. And this is why when I was talking to people, Babaji, we said that yes, for children to be in the midst of nature and to learn from there has a different impact. So it's bringing an event, bringing the essence of the event, creating that awakening, creating that journey, and then leading you to become the change maker is the whole thought. The theme which has been spoken very widely here, enkindling the spark. So I'm sure that each and every one of you will carry that spark, and you are here with the sole thought that you are not just interested in creating a development story for yourself, but you are going to be a conscious, a collective change maker in this interconnected world. So with these thoughts, on behalf of my entire team at Alcon International School, I welcome each one of you personally and on behalf of my team And we know that ultimately there will come a time where each one of you will travel through a journey where you will also have an opportunity, you will reach that stage where with similar passion, with similar thoughts, you will share your journey and let this journey continue. So I welcome all the great ideators here and let the symphony of thoughts and journey begin today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Your powerful words always resonate with our minds and our hearts and leave a long-lasting impact on all of us.
As we venture into this odyssey of ideas, our TEDx speakers stand as the navigators of inspiration, charting a course through the uncharted territories of thought. In the next few moments, we invite you to witness the brilliance and passion encapsulated in the minds of our diverse speakers. Let us collectively dive into the ocean of intellect and imagination as we present the introductory video, a glimpse into the kaleidoscope of ideas awaiting us today at TEDx.
Wow, it's truly an honor to be surrounded by such prodigies and extraordinary speakers. In the words of the great John C. Maxwell, a leader knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Today, as we gather in the pursuit of knowledge and inspiration, we are honored to be led by someone who embodies these profound principles. It is my distinct pleasure to extend a gracious invitation to the visionary behind this extraordinary event, Director, Alcon Group of Schools, Dr. Ashok Pandey. With deep respect for the extraordinary in each of us, let us warmly welcome our Director, sir, to the stage. Morning, sir.
Morning. Good morning. Distinguished speakers, principal, Alcon family, and a very, very awesome audience. I think the anatomy of this TEDx 4th edition of Alcon International School is perfectly set. And what is the characteristic of this anatomy? A very dark room, and this glittering red. Speakers will come here, the spotlight will be on them, and we will listen to them in rapt attention. That is what the anatomy of TEDx talk is. And that has been happening for the past 40 years in this world. I think Alcon International School is very distinctly placed to have pioneered it amongst the committee of schools, perhaps the first ones, at least in Delhi, I can tell you with surety. So what is very special about TEDx? TEDx is about ideas. And the ideas are not the ordinary ideas. Ideas are which overwhelm us on a daily basis. Ideas about what do we do when we have a disease and a doctor can't diagnose it? What do we do when we have everything in the world but we are not at a mental peace? What do we do with the overwhelming impact of AI? And what do we do in similar situations? I think that is what the intriguing propositions all the speakers bring here on the stage. And that is why ideas worth spreading is the tagline of what we call the TEDx talks. I'm sure the speakers today, they will enlighten us with their ideas, with their practical wisdom on how to invest in life, how to take care of us, how to save the environment, how to build our relationships, and how to do well in life. That is why all these distinguished speakers have ascended here. Ladies and gentlemen, भाई ये क्या time and money, and that makes us very, very happy about it. Anything more than to request you to get glued and to listen to them in very, very rapt attention. You will go back home with at least one solution to some of the problems that you may all have. Thank you very much. Thank you, speakers, for listening to our request and accepting it and coming here. These are the very young audience, and all of you know, you are also very young, I can see, but they are younger than you, and therefore they look up to you, they connect to you, and TEDx has given such an experience in life that everybody is already at least 80% ready to listen to you, and that 20% you bring them so that they take action also after listening to you. That's my request, and I'm sure you are eminently suited to do that. Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your words have enlivened the intellect and wisdom in the atmosphere.
The greatest oceans, with all its power and vastness, comes down to the smallest drops which make it. And we hope that together we too have made an ocean. In the time that culminated into the event in which we are here today, we faced many challenges and overcame them together. As a team, we learned a lot about ourselves, our fellow team members, and also from our leaders. We came together and started from scratch, treating the whole blank sky as our canvas, to finally paint our colorful ideas into a whole picture. To showcase our progress throughout, we now present to you the TEDxAhlcon trailer.
Memories fade, the legends never die. One last time, let's live for something. I can feel my blood, it's rushing. This ain't goodbye, we'll be back someday. And we will find our way, take control of our fate. And like a car with no brakes, crashing and we'll be back one day. We'll be back one day. Us tomorrow we'll wake up, new dreams to follow, a new goal and brand new motto. One last time, let's
ले गया मनोज जी ना लेके गया यार
and we will find our way, take control of our fate. And like a car with no brakes, crash and burn, make mistakes. And we'll be back.
Big thanks to our tech team for presenting this. The event today could truly be made possible with the hard work and support of many.
Henry Ford said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." It's an absolute pleasure to introduce our first speaker, a luminary in the world of finance, someone whose journey echoes the sentiment of these words, Dr. Mukesh Jindal. He is armed with a master's in finance from the University of Delhi and an impressive array of designations, CFA, CAIA, and CFPCM, and is a true architect of financial success. As the co-founder of Alpha Capital, he specializes in nurturing and managing family office and investment portfolios for affluent families, shaping robust financial futures. His commitment to education extends to his role as associate faculty at the Department of Financial Studies, Delhi University, where he imparts invaluable insights into investment and finance. Acknowledged globally as a leading global financial advisor by City Wealth London, Dr. Jindal's achievements,
हाँ जी
his best-selling book,
ब्लैक आ रहा है 2 सेकंड वही देख रहा हूँ क्या हो गया
Individuals with comprehensive knowledge about personal finance and investment strategies. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Mukesh Jindal to the stage and kickstart today's event.
Hello. Yeah. A very good morning to all of you. Every Indian has a dream, an aspiration to someday become financially independent, someday to become rich, someday to have enough money to have good retired life, someday to become a crorepati. And I think this dream is very reasonable. You know, Indians by nature are very hardworking. We work hard in school, in college, in jobs. We slog for years, for decades. And it's very basic to expect that we will have a good retired life. I want to share with you some interesting data. As per the research report of Oxfam Billionaire, as on January 2020, there are only around 1.4 crores of Indians who have a net worth of more than 1 crore. In a population of 140 crores, this is just 1%, which means you have 99% of the population who are poor or middle class. They cannot expect to have a good retired life. Now this is happening when India has recently become the 5th largest economy of the world. We surpassed UK. So as a whole, as a country, we are doing phenomenally so well. But at individuals level, we are struggling. People don't have enough wealth to retire properly. Now, who is responsible for this? Is government responsible? Should government be taking care of it? Talk about India's growth. In 1947, the poverty rate in India 80%. From 80%, it came down to 40% in 2004. And 2021, the poverty rate has fallen to 12%. So government as a country, we have done very good. You know, when we became independent, one of the key objectives was to eradicate poverty. Yes, it could have been much earlier, but now the priorities have to change. The priorities have to change that every Indian becomes rich. Every Indian becomes crorepati. Now who is going to do it? Is government going to do it? Is it fair to expect government to transfer money in a bank account? To transfer 1 crore in a bank account? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Government can give us an environment. Government can act as an enabler. It's for us to take the responsibility of becoming rich. Now, fortunately, as a financial advisor, I had the chance of working with this top 1% of people who are rich, who are super rich. Now, what I've learned from them is that you can get rich in different ways. And I'll share that with you so that we all can learn from them and see how we can follow the journey, how we can learn from the rich. Now, according to me, there are 4 ways by which you can become rich. One, work hard. And I think, as Indians, we are definitely working very hard. But can working hard make us rich? I don't think so. When I travel, I talk to, rickshaw pullers, taxi driver. Recently, I met a person in Mumbai, a taxi driver. He has been riding taxi for 50 years. He doesn't have any savings. And these guys, they work for 16, 18 hours. So hard work alone is not going to make us rich. If I talk about the second thing, is education. Education is very important because it allows to upgrade ourselves, to get better skills, to earn more for same amount of effort. And I think India is doing phenomenally well in terms of education. The literacy rate is going up and we have a literacy rate of more than 75% now. But is education going to make us rich, make us crorepati? I don't think only education can help us. It will be an enabler because if you look at so many educated people, all of them are not crorepatis. The third is a lottery or a windfall gain from somewhere. You win, kaun banega crorepati, you get money. I think that probability is very less. And even if you get that chance, what we have seen from the experience, that windfall gain or lottery amount never stays with you. People end up spending that amount. So this is not a very reliable way. The last and the most important is investments. What I have learned from my clients, from the rich people I interact, that most of them have become rich by investing. By investing in real estate, by investing in stock market and other assets. Now, if you ask me out of the 4, which is the most important? I think all are equally important. Anything single won't help you become rich. And fortunately, we all work towards, spending a lot of hours and work hard. We educate ourselves. What is missing is the investment knowledge, is the financial knowledge, financial awareness. And today, in my 15 minutes of talk, I want to give this magic to you. I want to give this idea to you. I'll give you a secret which will ensure that after 15 minutes of talk, you're ready to make investments. You don't need anything beyond this. So stay with me on this. Now, when I talk about my idea, it's a double engine growth. It's a double engine growth in your investment journey, which will turbocharge your journey towards being a crorepati. So the first engine is of compounding. Now, compounding is a very simple term. We have studied compounding in schools, but according to me, it's the most powerful thing which humans know about. In fact, the great Albert Einstein said that compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. So how does compounding works? Compounding works when you make an investment, that gives you an interest, and this interest in coming years earn more interest. It's like expanding family. Father gives birth to a child, child gives birth to grandson, and so on. And in few decades, the family becomes large. Let me explain this with an example. Let's say there's a person called Ravi, okay? Now, Ravi makes an investment in fixed deposit, let's say, which gives 10% interest. So, 1 lakh investments which he does, next year, the interest which will become is 10,000 rupees. A year after that, the interest which he will earn is 11,000. What is happening is, he is earning interest on the principal and the interest which he earned in the previous year. Now, 1,000 rupee, doesn't make a lot of difference, right? But the magic of compounding happens when you invest for a long term. Like in this case, in the case of our friend Ravi, if he invests this 1 lakh in the same 10% fixed deposit for 20 years, this amount becomes equal to 5.7 lakhs Otherwise, you would have earned an interest of only 2 lakhs. As a simple interest, you would have earned 2 lakhs. But just by staying invested, not touching, letting it compound over 20 years, he is able to grow his wealth by 2.85 times. That's a simple example. And if you are able to follow compounding, it's very powerful. And see, this is not a theoretical concept. Let me take an example from a living legend, the great Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the richest man on earth. He is worth $120 billion, which is equal to almost 10 lakh crore. And my dear friends, he has been able to accumulate this wealth just by investments. The great Warren Buffett started investing at the age of 11. Yes, at the age of 11. Today he is 93 years old. He made his wealth by compounding it over a period of 82 years. You'll be surprised to know that 90% of Warren Buffett's wealth came after the age of 65. So compounding, what is required is you need to give it time. The wealth creation needs time. There's no shortcut. And if you give time, the effect starts like a snowball. But over a period of time, it becomes avalanche. So that's the power of compounding. Now, when we have to, take advantage of compounding, what is important is 2 factors. One is the time horizon, how long you're investing. Longer, if the time horizon is, better will be the benefit of compounding. Second most important thing is, where is your investment? What is the rate of return at which it is compounding? And today you have various avenues. You can invest in fixed deposits, you can invest in real estate, you can invest in equities. There are various avenues. And this matters a lot. Let me give you a simple example. If Ravi, a friend whom I described earlier, decides to invest in a fixed deposit, these days the rate of fixed deposit is 7%. Now at 7% in 20 years, the 1 lakh corpus will become 4 lakhs. Okay? But if it decides to invest in equities, which invest further in the stock market, this amount, the return which is expected to come at 15%, grows to become 16 lakhs. So if Ravi invests in fixed deposit, he gets 4 lakhs. In the stock market, in equities, he's getting 6 lakhs, which is 4x. Phenomenal. It's mind-blowing. I'm sure that this is known to most of the people. I'm sure people take advantage of equities. I'm sure majority of the people's portfolio is in equities. Now let me share with you some interesting data. In a population of 140 crores in India, there are approx 70 crores PAN card holder. You need a PAN card for investment. Now out of 70 crores, there are only 4 crore mutual fund investors through which you invest in stock market and other capital market. This is only 6% of the population. Despite knowing the fact that in long term, equity does phenomenal wealth creation, only 6% of people have invested in the markets. The same percentage for US is at 52%. One of the reasons why people of America are rich is because they have participated in the growth of the country. When you invest in equities, you are investing in the companies which grows. In fact, largest of the companies in India, ICICI, HDFCs, majority of the holding is with foreign investors. Foreign investors have more trust in Indian companies than Indian investors. Now the question mark is, why is the participation so less? I keep talking to people. In fact, yesterday when I came, I spoke to teachers about their experience on investing, and I keep trying to learn from different people. Now generally I get 3 reasons for such a low participation. One, it's risky. Equities is risky. Second, they don't have the knowledge. Third, they don't have the money. Now, according to me, all these three reasons are very fair. And what I feel, the problem is in a mindset. We have put equity as a risky instrument. Whenever we think about equity, we think as risk. That mindset needs to change. When you think about equity, it should be about wealth. It should be about growth. That is the mindset which I want to change for you. So let me take each of these issues one by one. Talking about risk, equity is definitely very risky. It's one of the most riskiest investments, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen. In 2008, we had a great financial crisis. The stock market in India crashed by 60%. Investors lost 60% of the wealth. In COVID, 2020, very recently, markets crashed by 40%. So people burn their fingers. But what is important is that if investor continues to hold the investments, market always bounces back. The problem comes, they get worried. They redeem, they withdraw the money when markets are down. That's where the problem is. And my dear friends, life is full of risk. When you drive a car, it's risky. Going in a plane is risky. Getting married is also risky. So risk is everywhere. And I think, according to me, risk is like electricity. If you touch electricity by your hand, there's a probability you may get a shock. It can be fatal, you can die. But look around. Everywhere we are using electricity. Light, mic, conditioning, cooling, everywhere. So it's about how you manage it. And let me give you two good examples about the equity risk. See, Sensex, which constitutes top 30 stocks, top largest stocks, and an indicator of the stock market, was started on April 1st, 1979, with a base value of 100. 44 years back, the value was 100. Recently, it touched 70,000. It has become 700 times in 44 years. It has given a per annum return of 16.3%, pre-tax and post-tax of 15% approximately. No other investments have given that kind of return. And you were not supposed to do anything, just invest and hold. If you would have invested, forgotten the investment, not checked, then also you would have got this kind of return. In long-term equities does phenomenally well. And in coming years, coming decades, it belongs to India. India is expected to become superpower. The economy is going to do very well. Now, if economy is expected to do very well, equities will continue to do well. Let me share with you one more data point. As per data, in any period of Sensex of 7 years, if you would have invested in Sensex for 7 years, the minimum return which has come is 5%. Average is 15. Minimum is 5. So even the minimum return is similar to fixed deposit return. Phenomenal. So as you hold your equities, it becomes very safe. So it's all about mindset, guys. The risk is not there if you hold equities for long term. Now, second challenge which people have is they don't have the knowledge. I don't think you need a lot of knowledge for investments. These days, you have mutual funds. These days, you have mutual funds. Mutual funds are schemes run by big companies like ICICI, HDFC, Birla. You give money to them. You can invest even up to 500 rupees. There are experts who invest in your behalf in the markets. And whatever is the profit is distributed back and they charge very minimal. It's a very transparent, low cost, regulated schemes. And currently there are around 45 lakh crores. And there are mutual funds which replicate Sensex or Nifty. So you don't have to worry about which stocks to buy, which funds to buy. Just buy the Nifty fund and you'll be fine. So you don't need a lot of knowledge. So the second problem should not be really a big issue. The third challenge which comes is people say we don't have the money. Now for investments, you don't need a lot of money. What is required is when are you starting? And there's a beautiful concept called Systematic Investment Plan, SIP. In SIP, you have 500 rupee going from your bank account into any mutual fund scheme which you have selected. And what happens over a period of time, this becomes very large. So what is important is whether you're starting or not. You only need 500 rupee, guys. That's about it. If you're able to do it, you can start the investment. You don't have to wait for money to get collected and then invest. And let me give you an example of, two of my friends. In fact, they're partner in my firm also. I have a friend, Kunal. He's generally very, very conservative and he prefers to do fixed deposits. Now, if Kunal decides to do monthly investment of 5,000 rupee in fixed deposit for 20 years, this corpus becomes 26 lakhs. My other friend, Akhil, who is generally aggressive, if he decides to invest 5,000 rupee on a monthly basis in equities for 20 years, this corpus becomes 76 lakhs. It's 3x. You need to just start small and gradually it becomes big. So that's the power. And SIP has been picking up. Currently you have, in the month of November, almost 17,000 crore of SIP investment was done in India. Way back in April 2016, this figure was only 3,000 crore. We are learning. We are learning about investments. There have been a lot of promotion on mutual funds, Sahi Hai, SIP, but there's a lot more need to be done. We have to move from 6% participation to 52% participation, which is happening in America. And investing is very simple. After this session, when you go back home, just do a Google mutual fund SIP investment. There'll be many apps which will come up. You can invest through bank, brokers, and you can just start a SIP of 500 rupees, even in Sensex fund. It's so simple. The challenge is to start. Now this is the first engine which I wanted to talk about and which is very important. Now I want to turbocharge your growth towards making you crorepati. How do I want to turbocharge? See, one big challenge which we see with the investors when I interact with the investors is that the investors who are investing, they are not being able to increase the investments. I have an employee in company, Rotas. He has been working with us for 10 years. 10 years back also I told him to invest. He said, I don't have any savings. In 10 years his salary must have gone up by 6-7 times. He still says, I don't have any savings. So guys, what is happening? What's happening is that our income is growing. The income in India is growing at 10%, but our expenses are going much faster. As per recent RBI study, savings percentage in India has fallen to 47. That is damn low. So people are not being able to save. The reason? The mobile phone in our pocket. We have Instagram, we have YouTube, we get influenced by the lifestyle of other people. We want to spend more. Our expenses are running more. That's a big problem. And then you have apps like Amazon, Swiggy, Zomato. You can order instantly. And now you have fintech companies, they're saying buy now, pay later. In fact, when I was in Gurgaon recently, outside a hotel there was a banner. Get married now, pay later. So the culture of spending is taking away big time in India. In fact, RBI recently went against fintech companies. They are trying to restrict so that people don't end up taking a lot of debt. Indians are taking more and more of debt and it has become a big problem. To overcome this challenge, the second engine of growth is something called step-up SIP. In step-up SIP, you increase your SIP amount by a small percentage every year. It could be 10%, 20%, whatever. Whenever your salary or income increases, increase this amount. It brings discipline. And it's simple. In fact, Warren Buffett guides us that when you have to invest, normally what's the rule we follow? You get income, you get salary, you make expenses, and whatever is left is our savings and we invest. That should change. Whatever is the income, you have to first make subtraction of investment, and whatever is left has to be the expenses. So it's quite simple, guys. And let me give you a simple example of the step-up SIP, the power of a step-up SIP. I told you about my friends Kunal and Akhil, who were able to accumulate 26 lakhs and 76 lakhs by investing in fixed deposit in equity. Now there's one more friend, Nikhil. If he decides to do step-up SIP of 5,000 rupee every month and increases the amount by 10% per annum, by the end of 20 years, he will accumulate 1.4 crores. In fact, friends, you only need to invest 3,500 rupees on a monthly basis for 20 years to become crorepati. And if even this is more bigger amount, then you can invest only 700 rupees per month to become a crorepati in 30 years, which is not a very large amount. So what I feel, being a crorepati, being a rich is very easy. To conclude, as per Goldman Sachs, India is going to become the second largest economy by 2075. We are 50 years away from that goal. I think the real achievement of India will be when everyone is a crorepati. Being rich, being crorepati is not the right of few 1% of few people. It's the right of everyone. The dream for which I have for India is we all have to become rich. And this will happen when you take action. And you just not take action, you have to spread the financial awareness to your friends, family, and that is the time when India will become superpower. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for an astounding talk. This will indeed contribute to shaping the future of the young listeners present here. I now request the Honorable Director, Sir Ashok Pandey, to please present Dr. Mukesh Jindal a memento as a token of our gratitude and appreciation. Thank you, sir.
Now, my friend Vanya and I, Yasser, will continue forward with this event.
As Steve Jobs once said, technology is nothing. What's important is that you have faith in people, that they are good and smart. And if you give them the tools, they'll do wonderful things with them. Our next speaker, the remarkable educator, Mr. Shobit Nirvan, affectionately known as Shobit Bhaiya by his students, embodies this belief, utilizing technology not just as a tool, but as a conduit for something greater, the empowerment of the young minds. He established his YouTube channel Shobit Nirvan in 2019 during his first semester at the IIIT Vadodara. Within a year, he garnered over 1 lakh subscribers and currently sits over more than 2.5 million subscribers and 100 million views. Through his altruistic commitment to free education on YouTube, he's not merely a teacher, but a guiding light for the students combating exam anxiety and striving for excellence. His mission extends beyond academia. It's a testament to his belief in the innate potential of each and every student. He is a beacon of hope and inspiration for a generation seeking knowledge, guidance, and confidence in their educational journey. We would now request Mr. Shobit Nirvan to ascend the stage and share his ideas with us.
Hello. हेलो एवरीवन, दिस इज शोभित निर्वाण। आज की इस वीडियो में हम बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बातें करने वाले हैं। वीडियो स्टार्ट करने से पहले सभी को बोला जाएगा कि चैनल को लाइक, शेयर, सब्सक्राइब कर देना एंड डोंट फॉरगेट टू प्रेस द बेल आइकन। तो जो लोग जानते हो तो जानते ही हैं, जो नहीं जानते उनको भी पता चल गया होगा कि मैं कौन हूं। मैं एक YouTube कंटेंट क्रिएटर हूं। मेरा नाम है शोभित निर्वाण और नेक्स्ट स्लाइड यहां पे। हाँ, तो मेरा नाम है शोभित निर्वाण। मैं एक YouTube कंटेंट क्रिएटर हूं। मैथ्स मैं पढ़ाता हूं, मेरा सब्जेक्ट है। आई एम अ को-फाउंडर एट नेक्स्ट टॉपर्स, जिसमें हम बच्चों को गाइडेंस देते हैं, क्लासेस देते हैं, लाइव क्लासेस। अभी कल रात को ही मैं लेके आया हूं, तो वही जर्सी में पहन के आ गया। और अगर मैं अपनी एजुकेशन की बात करूं तो मैंने इंजीनियरिंग कर रखी है फ्रॉम इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी, वडोदरा। अब जो मेरी सेमिनार्स वगैरह होते हैं, जो मेरी टॉक होती है, ये जनरली 1.5-2 घंटे की जाती है, बट टेड ये अलाउ नहीं करता है। तो इन्होंने बोला है कि यार नहीं, 18 मिनट से कम करो। मैंने कहा नहीं, 18 मिनट भी नहीं करेंगे, हम तो टू द पॉइंट बोल देंगे। तो अगर छोटी टॉक मेरे को देनी होती है तो मैं टू द पॉइंट जल्दी उस चीज को कंक्लूड करके फिर चला जाता हूं। तो आप सभी को मैं ज्यादा बोर नहीं करूंगा, सारी चीजें जो है वो आपको सीधे समझ में आएंगी। शुरुआत करते हैं। अभी रिसेंटली क्या हुआ, मैं एक सेमिनार देने गया था ऐसे स्कूल में। तो मेरे पास एक क्लास 10th का बच्चा आया। उसने बोला भैया एक चीज पूछनी है। मैंने कहा हाँ बताओ। भैया किसी को बताओगे तो नहीं? मैंने कहा नहीं बता, चल साइड में आ जा, साइड में पूछ ले। तो साइड में क्या कह रहा, भैया मेरे को ना, मैं देखता हूँ आजकल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स जो हैं बहुत पैसा कमाते हैं और मेरे को भी पैसे कमाने हैं। मेरे को भी ना अपने मम्मी पापा को प्राउड फील करवाना है। मेरे को भी गाड़ी चाहिए, मेरे को भी और इन्फ्लुएंसर्स की तरह एक घर चाहिए। मेरे को भी पैसे कमाने हैं। भैया मैं कैसे एक फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट बच्चा बन सकता हूँ? 10th क्लास का बच्चा ये। क्या इसने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा ये सही है? क्या सही में ये बच्चा गलत है? क्या सही में इस बच्चे को ऐसा फील हो रहा है कि ये औरों से कम है? क्या ये सही बात है? क्या ये सही में और बच्चों से कम है? इसकी एज ग्रुप के बच्चे क्या सही में इतने सक्सेसफुल हो चुके हैं? आप सभी ने कुछ थंबनेल्स देखे होंगे YouTube पे, जिसमें आपने देखा होगा कि ये नेक्स्ट नहीं हो रहा है। ओके हाँ, तो आप सभी ने ये थंबनेल देखे होंगे कि कैसे कोई एक बंदे ने इतनी कम उम्र में एक घर खरीद लिया, है ना? थंबनेल आते हैं यूट्यूब पे कि कैसे 20 साल में एक घर खरीद लिया, या फिर किसी ने कैसे एक बिजनेस खड़ा कर दिया मात्र 19 साल की उम्र में। हम देख के उनको लगता है, वो आते हैं अपनी वीडियो में बताते हैं कि 19-20 मिनट की वीडियो बनाते हैं कि हमने ये पैसे इकट्ठे करे, हमने छोटे से स्टार्ट करा, फिर उसके बाद हमने इतना बड़ा बिजनेस बना दिया, हमने ये करा वो करा। फिर उसके बाद कुछ कि हमने कैसे मिलियनर बन गए एट द एज ऑफ 22 या एट द एज ऑफ 21, या फिर कैसे किसी ने बहुत कम एज में एक गाड़ी खरीद ली। तो ऐसे थंबनेल अगर कोई बच्चा देखेगा तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है, उसे लगेगा कि यार हर एक बंदा जब मेरी उम्र में ये चीज कर पा रहा है तो मेरे को भी कर लेना चाहिए। मैं कैसे किसी से इतना पीछे हूं? बिल्कुल ऑब्वियस सी बात है, उसके दिमाग में आएगा। अब एक चीज जो है वो ये भूल जाता है कि यार ये है इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को व्यूज चाहिए, उसको लाइक्स चाहिए। वो तो एक साल में आप सभी के व्यूज लेके अगले साल वापस ये गाड़ी खरीद लेगा। पर इन्फ्लुएंस कौन हो रहा है? अफेक्टेड कौन हो रहा है? बच्चे इफेक्टेड हो रहे हैं, टीनेजर्स इफेक्ट हो रहे हैं। उनके दिमाग में आ रहा है कि यार सब कर पा रहे हैं, मैं नहीं कर पा रहा हूं। उस बच्चे के दिमाग में आ रहा है कि यार सब पैसे कमा पा रहे हैं, सब अमीर हो जा रहे हैं, मैं नहीं हो पा रहा हूं। तो ये जो माइंड में इफेक्ट हो रहा है, मैं देख रहा हूं बच्चे खाली उनको पढ़ाई की टेंशन नहीं है, उनको ये भी टेंशन है कि कैसे मैं फाइनेंशियली फ्रीडम अचीव कर सकता हूं, कैसे मैं फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट हो सकता हूं। आप कहोगे यार गलत क्या है? सही बात तो है। बच्चा अगर कम उम्र में पैसे कमाना सीख लेगा, बच्चा अगर कम उम्र में फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाएगा तो अच्छी बात है। ये तो अच्छी फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी पहुंच रही है, बिल्कुल सही बात है, फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी पहुंच रही है, मेरे को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। पर कभी आपने वो सोचा है उस बच्चे का, जिस बच्चे ने शायद किसी कारणवश वो फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस इतनी कम उम्र पे नहीं ला पा रहा है? शायद वो बच्चा भी सिर्फ पढ़ाई कर रहा है, पर वो ये सारे थंबनेल्स देख के, ये सारी फोटोज देख के, ये सारी पोस्ट देख के उसके दिमाग में आ रहा है यार मैं क्यों नहीं कर पा रहा हूं। उसको अलग स्ट्रेस हो रहा है, उसको डिप्रेशन हो रहा है, उसको एंजाइटी हो रही है, वो बंदा ओवर थिंकिंग में बैठा हुआ है। वो सोच रहा है बाकी सब तो इन्फ्लुएंसर्स कमाए जा रहे हैं, मैं पढ़ाई में लगा हुआ हूं, मैं यहाँ पे मैथ्स के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहा हूं, वहां पे उनके घर बने जा रहे हो, तो 2 करोड़ का घर खरीदने हो तो 3 करोड़ का खरीद रहे हैं, वो अलग ही गाड़ी खरीद रहा है। उसको अलग टेंशन, उसको सुसाइडल थॉट्स आ रहे होते हैं कि यार सब खरीद पा रहे हैं, मैं नहीं खरीद पा रहा हूं। इस इंटरनेट की दुनिया में वो ये चीज भूल जाता है कि यार एवरीथिंग यू सी ऑन इंटरनेट इज नॉट ट्रू। क्या पता जिस बंदे ने वो गाड़ी की पोस्ट डाली है वो उसकी हो ही ना, किसी और की भी तो हो सकती है। उसको तो लाइक चाहिए, कौन आके उसके घर पे वेरीफाई कर रहा है कि उसकी गाड़ी है। क्या पता जिसने वो घर की पोस्ट डाली है वो उसके पापा ने खरीदा हो, उसने कहा सही है मैं जाऊंगा इंस्टाग्राम पे पोस्ट डालूंगा, यूट्यूब पे वीडियो डालूंगा, मेरे व्यूज बढ़ेंगे, मेरी इज्जत बढ़ेगी। हर एक चीज सही कोई है जो बताई जा रही है इंटरनेट पे, तो हमें क्या पता है कि वो उसी के पैसे का है। हमें क्या पता वो जो बिजनेस उसने खड़ा करा है उसने खुद खड़ा करा है, वो तो बता रहा है थ्योरी, वो तो बता रहा है अपनी स्टोरी। स्टोरी तो कोई भी बना सकता है, स्टोरी बनाने में कौन सा टाइम लगता है, रात भर में स्टोरी बन जाएगी, अगले दिन वीडियो बना देगा। क्या पता उसके पापा का बिजनेस हो, क्या पता उसके चाचा का बिजनेस हो, क्या पता उसके घर का बिजनेस हो। अब उसको घर के बिजनेस को संभालने के लिए उसको सीईओ बना दिया, कौन सी बड़ी बात है। तो हर चीज जो हम देख रहे हैं वो सही नहीं है, और मान लो कुछ परसेंटेज, कुछ जो चीजें आ रही है वो सही भी है, तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है अगर कुछ एक चंद। इंटरनेट में क्या है, पहले इंटरनेट नहीं था, ठीक है, तो पहले हम इतना सब खबरें पहुंचती नहीं थी। अब कुछ इन्फ्लुएंसर्स हैं, कुछ चीजें हैं जो हमें बार बार हमारे सामने आई जा रही हैं, तो हमें लग रहा है कि सब कर पा रहे, हम नहीं कर पा रहे। हमें लग रहा है कि यार सभी कुछ ना कुछ कर पा रहे हैं, हम नॉर्मल नहीं है, हम में ही कुछ कमी है, हम अपने आप को फेलियर समझने लग जाते हैं। अरे किसी में कुछ कमी नहीं है, सब नॉर्मल हो, सब नॉर्मल हो। आपकी उम्र में बच्चे पढ़ाई ही कर रहे हैं, आपकी उम्र में 10th 12th में बच्चे पढ़ाई ही करते हैं, उसके बाद 3-4 साल ग्रेजुएशन ही करते हैं, उसके बाद ही जाके किसी की नौकरी लगती है, कोई बिजनेस करता है। तो आज की टॉक का सिंपल बस यही मुद्दा है कि इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को देख के, ठीक है कुछ परसेंटेज सही भी हो सकते हैं, पर उनको देख के ये स्ट्रेस, एंजाइटी, ओवर थिंकिंग मैं बहुत देखता हूं। मैं सेमिनार्स में जाता हूं, बच्चे ये पूछते हैं भैया कैसे हम आपकी तरह सक्सेसफुल हो सकते हैं। अरे कुछ परसेंटेज हैं। मैंने कॉलेज में आने के बाद जब मेरे को लगा था कि मेरा कॉलेज स्टार्ट हो चुका है, मैं एक अच्छी, मतलब ये मान सकते हो कि मैं एजुकेशन वाइज स्ट्रांग बैठ चुका हूं, अब मेरे को अपनी करियर की टेंशन नहीं लेनी, अगर ये चीज नहीं सही हुई तो मैं अपने कॉलेज की डिग्री का काम कर लूंगा, तब मैंने ये रिस्क लिया। अभी आप 10वीं 11वीं 12वीं में हो, आपकी उम्र में पहले भी बच्चे पढ़ाई करते थे, आज भी बच्चे पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं। कुछ हैं जो आपको बार बार इंस्टाग्राम के थ्रू, बार बार यूट्यूब के थ्रू दिखाए जा रहे हैं, तो आपको लग रहा है सब सक्सेसफुल हो रहे हैं, आप नहीं हो रहे, पर ऐसा नहीं है, यू आर नॉर्मल। पेरेंट्स, मैंने देखा कुछ पेरेंट्स हैं जो ये चीजें को देख के इन्फ्लुएंस हो जाते हैं, फेसबुक पे आ गया, इंस्टाग्राम पे आ गया, उनको दिखता है कि यार ये बच्चा 17 की उम्र में इतना बड़ा बिजनेस खड़ा करके बैठा है, इस बच्चे ने 16 की उम्र में गाड़ी खरीद ली, तो उनको लगता है कि हमारा बच्चा नहीं कर पा रहा है। अरे हर चीज जो दिखाई जा रही है वो सही नहीं है। आज इंटरनेट का जमाना है तो आप भी देख पा रही हो सारी चीजें। आप जब बच्चे थे तब सारे बच्चे पढ़ाई करते थे, तब भी सारे बच्चे 11वीं 12वीं तक पढ़ाई करते थे, उसके बाद आपने भी 4-5 साल ग्रेजुएशन करी है, उसके बाद आपकी नौकरी लगी है। और क्या पता आपके भी समय पे कुछ ऐसे हों जो 17-18 साल में अमीर हों, पर इंटरनेट नहीं था तो आपके पास पहुंच नहीं पाए। तो कुछ एक्सेप्शंस हैं, उनको देख के हमें टेंशन नहीं लेनी है। आप सभी नॉर्मल हो, सब बच्चे आपकी उम्र में पढ़ाई करते हैं। कुछ अगर आपको आइडिया आ रहा है, कुछ आपको लग रहा है कि हाँ मैं इस चीज को अचीव कर सकता हूं, हाँ मैं इसको साइड में कर सकता हूं, तो जरूर करो। बट ये नहीं कि इसकी वजह से हमने ये पढ़ाई डिस्टर्ब कर दी। जब मैंने कॉलेज में अपना चैनल शुरू करा था, जब मैंने कॉलेज में अपना बिजनेस शुरू करा था, तब मेरे दिमाग में एक चीज क्लियर थी कि यार कुछ हो ना हो 4 साल बाद बीटेक तो मिल ही जाएगा, इंजीनियर तो बन ही जाऊंगा, इतना तो क्लियर था। और यही चीज मेरे पापा ने भी मेरे को गाइड करी थी कि ठीक है तू इस चीज में टाइम दे रहा है, दे दे, बट ये इंजीनियरिंग नहीं छोड़नी है। नहीं तो आज जो मैंने इंट्रोडक्शन में तीसरा पॉइंट लिखा है ना, इंजीनियर है IIIT वडोदरा, वो नहीं लिख पाता। तो ये जरूरी है। ये मत सोचो कि उसने तो नौकरी छोड़ दी थी, उसने तो स्कूल छोड़ दिया था, उसने तो कॉलेज छोड़ दिया था, वो सक्सेसफुल हो गया, मैं भी स्कूल छोड़ देता हूं, मैडम मेरा टीसी दे दो मैं जा रहा हूं। नहीं, आप नॉर्मल हो, जैसा चल रहा है वैसे चलाओ। लोगों को देख के इन्फ्लुएंस ज्यादा मत हो, ठीक है, कुछ परसेंटेज सही होंगे, कुछ परसेंटेज फेक भी हो सकते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच, बस यही था।
Thank you, sir. It's an honor for all of us to have been graced with your words. We request the respected principal, sir, Mr. Sanjay Yadav, to present Mr. Shobit Nivan a memento as a symbol of our respect. Thank you, sir.
In a world constantly evolving and brimming with innovation, there emerges a collective force, a team of visionaries pushing boundaries and inspiring change. We are, of course, referring to the TED team. So let us take a visual dive to see the hard work of the months leading up to this moment.
Embracing diversity is not just a choice. It's a celebration of the human experience, a testament to the strength found in our differences. As Maya Angelou once said, we should all know that diversity makes for a rich tapestry, and we must understand that all the threads of the tapestry are equal in value. Today, we're honored to welcome Mr. Saad Alam Khan, a 24-year-old first openly queer UNV personnel in India. As a program associate at the United Nations Population Fund, Saad's work in social development, focusing on youth leadership, public health, rural education, and gender and sexuality, has left an indelible mark. Recognized with the Youth Leader Award in 2021, he is committed to promoting the health and well-being of the young people in India, always emphasizing gender inclusivity. A powerful advocate, Mr. Khan has represented LGBTQ+ issues on national and global platforms, collaborating with many organizations, such as the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, UNICEF, and the G20. So without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Saad Alam Khan to the stage.
What do you want to be when you grow up? A question that especially students get asked, and we still reflect back. I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, I want to be an artist. You know what I wanted to be? Myself. I was once coming back from my office, this is a regular now, in Delhi Metro, when a young schoolboy came to me crying, saying that, Bhaiya, I hope someday I'm able to have the courage to wear one. I gave him some advice. What advice did I give him? I'll tell you about that later. But as I came back home, I started reflecting back to my life when I was in school. When I was this 16-year-old, 17-year-old, young, passionate, academically sound, kind of like the teacher's pet kid, making everyone proud, trying to ace in everything, making my parents proud, my teachers proud. Everyone was proud, but myself. I was aware that I wanted to be myself, but yet another question stopped at my door. If you want to be yourself, who are you? Who am I? Like any other young person, I was looking for a role model, an idol. You know, that one doctor, that one actor, that one comedian, that one dancer, that one singer that we see ourselves in. I couldn't find a role model because I did not see myself in anyone. When I looked around, the movies I saw, the families I saw existing in the society, the advertisements, the friends who were falling in love with each other, I didn't see Saad in anyone. Therefore, I couldn't find any idol. So basically my surrounding, whatever was normal, had anything in it but myself. So as I was looking for role models and as I was growing up, I realized that I am different. Not by my own self, but with this experience of what is normal and that I am different. At that point of time, I didn't want anyone to focus on my identity. Grades. Let's be good at extracurricular activities. Let's funnel that energy somewhere, but not focus on my identity, because I still don't know who I am yet. I came in college, and to funnel that very same energy, I put it down to another question. So if I am here and I have to be alive, what am I here for? What is my purpose? And in the quest of finding that purpose, I did various internships. I got to hear something about social work. And I thought people only are the ones who will get no money in their life, and they are social workers. I did not know that it's actually a sector in itself. I started volunteering for various social issues, various organizations. Is channel that energy somewhere. That working for a social cause helped me channelize my energy, helped me feel some sense of belonging in a world full of different. As I was continuing, I also was building on my skills and my knowledge. And I realized that there is some community out there where people don't care of what I wear while I do things. They care about why I do what I do and how I do it. And as I was growing up, becoming more and more strong about my values, my gender expression, I forgot that what I did not find around in a role model was a young, brown, queer, Muslim person. And I started to live that for the first time. My family, which I don't blame them, are part of this normal. They could not adjust to that. I tried educating them, and I hope someday they will be educated. But I had to leave home on 11 June 2021. I was passionate, I was getting skilled, I was motivated, but I was homeless. I got an opportunity to work in rural education development in rural parts of Rajasthan. And you know what my biggest incentive of that job was? They gave a house, a shelter. From those 2 years in Rajasthan, I met enormous diversity of young people. People from the metropolitan, I personally sometimes think that the world, that Desh Delhi hai, but Desh Delhi nahi hai. Desh resides in the villages, in the rural parts of the country. I met amazing young people who were facing a lot of problems in their life, surely in a different context than mine, but doing amazing work for themselves and their society. I started to read up about leadership. What is leadership? The theories of leadership, but trust me, I've learned more about leadership from the lives of these people and my life than any theory. I remember the first time I wore a sari. That was in Rajasthan. Not my hometown, Delhi, for 21 years, but a completely different place. Maybe because people didn't know me. I remember the first time I wore sari, there is this house help who used to come in Rajasthan. She said, "Bhaiya, you're wearing a sari? Why do you wear a sari?" I asked her, "Didi, you tell me, why do you wear a sari?" She said, "I like it." I said, "Same. I like it." What cemented that day was the fact that I cannot be a leader. I cannot grow in my life by hiding a part of my identity. This first time of wearing a sari was the beginning of a lifetime of change for me. I realized that identities are so intersectional and that the learning of you have to lose a part of your identity to be able to live the other, I had to unlearn it. I started talking more and more about my community's issues, about youth leadership on national and international platforms. And I realized that there is so much power of the leadership that you have learned from your life. It's as if, as I always say, that people from the LGBTQ community, we don't take birth at 0 or 1. We take birth when we fully, for the first time, truly live our true selves. It is that when we take the birth. You remember the boy I met in Delhi Metro? What advice I gave him? I told him, I understand where you are, but remember, make your life your best leadership coach. Because guess what? Nobody has lived your life ever but yourself. Surely some theories can help, And this is my definition of self-leadership. That learning from your own aspirations, and at the same point of time, making sure that your emotions are also addressed to. We focus so much on skills, but we forget the person exercising those skills. And why I say emotion? Because not Saad alone who wore the sari for the first time. My co-fellows, my teachers, my fellow social workers, they became my chosen community and they became my family. They became the support which gave me a safe space, which is very important when you're on the journey of your self-leadership. That boy said, Bhaiya, I have no idea how to go about it. I said that, I hear you. I have been there. But isn't idea our vision, our own vision of the world, but ourselves first? Therefore, self-awareness is so crucial. Work on your knowledge, work on your power, your skill, and your emotions. When you are on that leadership journey, remember that all of this manifests into something. I call the year 2023 the year of my dreams come true. I always wanted to work for a social cause, but after that 2 years in Rajasthan and all these years, I found my cause. Because as I was talking to that person, that young boy from school in Delhi Metro, I realized that isn't that what leadership about? That my story, just a story, can become halo to someone else's aspiration and inspiration. And that is what self-leadership is for me. It's from the self to the others. And that is true empowerment and giving back for me. Today when I share this story, I share it for all the, especially young people in school, colleges, feeling different, feeling they're not able to catch up to this person or that person. Do not compare yourself, because remember, nobody has lived your life but yourself. The year of dreams 2023, I found my social cause. Now I work with United Nations Population Fund, Country Office India. I'm able to channel all of that energy, working for health, well-being, leadership of young people. I would like to conclude this by saying, in a sari or a tuxedo. I am queer, but a Saad in a sari and a Saad in tuxedo is still Saad. When I walk with pride today and live with purpose, I don't want you to see how different I am than you. I want you to see how we are all the same. How we all want the same things. Love, respect, dignity, and purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your ideas were truly captivating and thought-provoking for each and every one of us. I would now request respected Vice Principal, Mr. Puneet Duggal, to present Mr. Saad Alam Khan a token to express our gratitude. Thank you, sir.
in the profound words of Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Sachita Pasi Sabharwal, a seasoned counseling psychologist and university professor with a PhD in psychology. With a decade of experience in both academia and industry, she specializes in the psychometric testing, career assessments, and designing engaging training programs. Driven by a deep understanding of the human dynamics, she has transformed lives through one-on-one positive psychology coaching, focusing on the strengths and the career development. Her extensive work includes conducting workshops and podcasts on the emotional intelligence, stress management, etc. Dr. Sabharwal has a notable research career with 10 papers published in the Scopus indexed journals. As we welcome Dr. Sachita Pasi Sabharwal to the stage for our TED Talk, let's prepare to delve into the profound wisdom she brings, navigating the delicate yet the powerful spaces of the human emotion, motivation, and well-being. So let's call on the stage Dr. Sachita Pasi Sabharwal.
Very good morning to all of you. Hope all of you are doing amazing today. I'm Dr. Sachita, and I'm here to speak on a very amazing topic today, that's emotions. I'm sure all of us have different sets of emotions on everyday basis. So today, I'm going to talk about a conversation between a client and me. This happens with all of us. Client, I'm very emotional today. I spit hurtful words. I say something which I'm not supposed to say. I just shouted at a friend of mine. I knew before the incident that I should not do this. And I also knew after the incident. Psychologist, what should I do during the incident? How to remain calm? Psychologist, you won't remain calm. Humans of the entire generation don't accept they have anger issues. Human beings should understand and must understand they have to regulate their emotions. I deal with children, I deal with adults, I deal with organizations. My very important learning about people is that they are aware they have anger issues, but they don't accept. When I understand a human being, I understand about their emotions. Emotions are both positive and negative feelings about a situation, why to react and why not to react. Some of us have regulated our emotions and some of us are still regulating our emotions. The problem is nobody in this entire world has guided us what to do about it. This is a very interesting term, emotional dysregulation, which says that having difficulty in managing your emotions, a sudden outburst of emotions, feeling restless, feeling angry, feeling like killing someone, or feeling like something is wrong inside me. This happens with us. Most of us today are youth sitting in the audience, and I'm sure most of you have shouted at your parents or were having a difficult time back home when they were telling you, please study. It's very essential for us to locate why it's happening. It might be directly, indirectly, you are under depression, you're having an anxiety attack, or you're feeling frustrated because you were being told by your parents that you need to be an engineer. But you had different aspirations and you wanted to be someone very different. Research reveals that 50% of psychiatric admissions are due to emotional dysregulation. And 5 to 6% of us, the general population, also suffers from it. The problem is, what are we doing about it? The most important issue is, do I understand that emotions play the most important role in my life? Yes, they do. Emotions are controlling me, they're making me better, they're making me worse. They're making me someone I'm not supposed to be. Number one, recognize your emotions. Why are you feeling it, and what is the reason behind it? There's always a hidden cause why I'm emotional, right? Maybe there is a hidden talent inside me and I wanted to pursue it, but I was not getting the right direction. Emotions, if recognized, can be sorted and can help us become better. I've observed in my conversations with different sets of people, when they interact with their friends and the friend didn't behave well with them, their friendships fall apart. They have a lot of difficulty understanding why my friendship broke. Because I told my friend, this is not supposed to be done. No, it's because my friend is not ready to accept it, that I can be a different person today. I'm a person full of emotions. There are some places where we express our emotions, and there are some places we don't. My humble request to all of you, please be an expressive person. Express your emotions. It's very important for us. Why? Because if you don't express it, people will not treat you well. People will not know how you should be treated. So it's very essential for us to understand ourselves first. How I should and how I must locate the emotions, what is happening inside me and why it's happening inside me, right? So emotions also create a lot of fear, it creates a lot of anxiety, it also creates a lot of unsettlement in our minds. If you're emotionally unstable, you will not be able to control your emotions, you will not be able to sit still in a class. ADHD, the biggest problem teachers are having today with the students. They've not been taken care of, that's why they're having those problems. It's an attention disorder. I'm not giving that attention to my child back home. That's why he's craving that attention in the school. So I'll go back to a story of mine. Do all of you fear exams? Yes, you do. I used to fear them a lot. I have a story. When I was in my 10th class, I scored 41 out of 100, and my teacher told me that you will not get the CBSE roll number if you don't clear the exam again. So my parents were called and they were told, it's a bitter pill. You will have to swallow it, Mrs. Pasi. And I was like this, okay. When they told my mom, I really felt bad for her. Not her fault, but mine. I was not good in social studies. So I had two options. Either to score well and to win this battle, or keep having this fear of social studies throughout my life. I took the first option. I decided to accept the fear and start working hard for it. I kept studying. I burned the midnight oil. I just had 10 days and I prepared myself for 78 marks. I prepared myself for 78 marks and I left a syllabus worth 22 marks. To my insight, I scored 78 out of 78, I would say that, not out of 100, because I only prepared 78. And I overachieved. And I went back to that teacher and I told her, I swallowed the bitter pill, along with my parents. I think that teacher changed my life. That kept banging in my head. I can't do it, I have to do it. That's all we all are here today for. If I can't do it, I have to make it do it. Second, I changed my fear into a win. The choice was always mine. If I wanted to win, I could win. I had put that thought in my mind that this win is possible only if I believe it. If I don't believe it, I will not be able to do anything about it. So I personally believe that your fears help you become better. They help you bounce back in life and do something which is outstanding in your life. If this journey was not there, the sad part was not there, I would not have been standing here today. Also, it's very essential for us to understand what role does emotions play in our everyday life. Emotions play a very interesting role for all of us. Why? Because they tell us what to do, when to do, and how to do, right? If you're feeling fearful for a test, or if you're not aware, is this the right step? You should think about it on two bases. One, understand you can transform your journey, and second, have a very strong self-esteem that you can win this anyhow. It's very important for us to understand why people have different mindsets and why people have different thoughts. Why people tell us what to do, when to do, and how to do. It's not about that. Every one of us have a different pace to learn and accept our emotions, which is very important for all of us today. Also, it's very essential for us to understand how to master these emotions. Let's assume you are in a tough situation where you have to win the situation, but you are not able to understand how to focus on that situation. You have two ways. Number one, be a person who can focus on your emotion-focused coping. Second, you can focus on your problem-focused coping. When I talk about emotion-focused coping, try to balance your emotions. Try to understand why this is happening, why you're being an over-emotional person. Second is why you have to be the problem solver and why become problem-focused coper. When we talk about a problem-focused coper, it is basically understanding the underlying cause of your stress. Why this stress, what is the reason behind it, and I want to get into the deep understanding of it. Also, let's assume tomorrow you have a work interview and you're not able to understand, should you manage your emotions today or should you manage the problem? Since you have to get that job, it's very essential for you to go and understand the deep cause that is the problem. Why you are not able to win the situation. Since that job is very important for you, you have to go face it and study hard for it and crack the interview. So it's very essential for us to see and how I can win the situation. How does positive emotions play a very important role in life? Positive emotions is something which is very essential for all of us. Being positive in a negative situation helps us win the situation halfway. It's a battle. When I understand the cancer patients, there are two sets of cancer patients. One is who's very happy, yes, I'll win this battle. And the other is who's crying, cribbing, and asking for comfort from the loved ones or people around them. That person, even after the recovery, will not be out of that problem. Why? Because he's just cribbing about the problem. The problem is always there. The issue is, are we able to change our mindset into a positive thought? Are we able to do it? Yes, we can, if we imagine. Imagination is everything. If I imagine I want to be happy, I will be happy. And if I imagine I want to be sad, I'll be sad throughout my life. So if you are a person who keeps cribbing about small problems in life, please stop it today. It's very essential for us to understand ourselves and to understand that it's very, very interesting that if I feed my brain with positive thoughts, the reality would be positivity. And it's also important for us that we train our minds on everyday basis about resilience, the ability to bounce back in negative situations and win the game. Also, it's very important that I feel proud of myself, that I am doing the best I can in the given situation, no matter what the result is. It doesn't matter what the result is. The problem is how I accept the problem. Right? This is something very important for us. Also, there are some problems in life which cannot be resolved. The best way is to leave them there itself. Go, have a word with your best friend and talk it out. Talk therapy, the most important. Talk to the person you feel more comfortable. Talk it out, feel better about it, and understand that you can share your bad thoughts, your bad feelings, your uncomfortable situations with anyone and everyone and feel amazing about it, right? It's also essential for us that we talk out and feel relieved that now the problem is not mine, it's with everyone, right? It's very essential. The problem with us is that we don't communicate the right things. If we don't tell people that we are facing this problem, how will they get to know it? Very, very important for us. Also, it's very essential for us to figure out what and why. What should be said and why it should be said. The emotional maturity is very important today. A very interesting example, when you go to your teacher and you ask for a favor, you've missed the class test and you request her that she takes a retest for you. It's upon you how you use your emotional maturity to convince her rather than ordering her, you better take my test. No, you have to convince the person with your emotional maturity that this issue had happened and this is the problem I faced. I request you, please help me take a retest. Your thoughts, your way of communication will help you become better. So I'd like to end my talk on a very important note. Confucius said, we live two lives. The second one begins when we realize we only live one. Live that with confidence. Thank you everyone for having me here today. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your thoughts are truly an inspiration for all of us. Now, I would like to request the esteemed Director Sir, Dr. Ashok Pandey, to present Dr. Sachita Pasi a memento as a gesture of our respect. Thank you, sir. With this, we request everyone present here to kindly proceed for tea and rejuvenating break. Our volunteers will guide you all for the same. Welcome back to the event that has been bedecked with a brimming intellect. In every step, a heartbeat finds its song. Each sway and turn, a tale that belongs. Dance, the poetry that feet inscribe. A symphony of motion, hearts describe. In graceful arcs, dreams and passions thrive. So before we move ahead to our next amazing speaker, students of Alcon International School, under the guidance of Miss Saloni Kapoor, are here to present vibrant and captivating classical dance. It will blend the notions expressed so far with the traditional and the cultural heritage of our country.
dhane dhite dhatir dhikite kata gadigine kata gadigine dhane dha kirda dite dhane dha kirda dite dhane dha a dhane dhite dhatir dhikite kata gadigine kata gadigine dhane dha kirda dite dhane dha kirda dite dhane dha a dhane dhite dhatir dhikite kata gadigine dhane dha kirda dite dhane dha kirda dite dhane dha ताना ना दर दर दानी दादा धूम किट झनक झनक झन झन जाना ना 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 तेरे ना तेरे ना तेरे ना तेरे ना ताना ना ना तेरे ना धूम किट झनक झनक झन झन ना 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 धूम ना मोया धूम किट धक धक धूम किट धक धक धेलांग धेलांग टिट धा धिलांग धिलांग टिट धा धिलांग धिलांग टिट धा ताना ना दिर दिर दानी ताना तानु ताना ना तानु ताना ना ताना दिर ना 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 ताना ना दिर दिर दानी दानी gama gama dani sa ni sa dani mama da ga ga gama gama dani sa ni sa dani mama da ga ga gama gama dani sa tana na der der dani tanu tana na tanu tana na tana der tanu tana na tanu tana na tana der tanu tana na tanu tana na tana der na tana der na tana der na
Wow, that was a harmonious blend of graceful movements and expressive gestures. Now we move on to the next speaker. It is my distinct honor to introduce a true trailblazer in the world of entrepreneurship, Mr. Sanjeev Jain. He personifies Ralph Waldo Emerson's words, "Do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail." An MBA graduate from IIFT Delhi, Mr. Jain has carved his unique path, founding not just one, but an impressive 7 companies. His passion for technology led to the establishment of Technology Never Sleeps, TNS, in the year 2007, fortifying the digital framework of prestigious companies like Honda, Mitsubishi, L&T, and Railways. His contributions, though, extend beyond boardrooms. As the former president of the BNI and the Rotary Club of Delhi Imperial, his leadership transcends commerce, touching the very fabric of the community. Presently, with CEO IT Box, Mr. Sanjeev Jain champions a new era of business management, guiding entrepreneurs to harness the power of technology from their smartphones. His ambitious vision extends to propelling over 100 Indian businesses into the esteemed Fortune 500. He stands as an embodiment of entrepreneurial grit, technological foresight, and unwavering dedication. Please join me in welcoming this visionary leader to the stage.
Imagine a world where every entrepreneur has a secret superpower, a force that not only helps them solve their business challenges, but actually brings their dreams to life. So today, we are going to talk about this secret power. This can be a game changer, not only for entrepreneurs, but for entire global economies. As a child, I was always intrigued by technology. And from repairing VCRs for my neighbors to setting up my technology companies, my world always revolved around technology. So when I got my first IBM PC in 1986, I felt like Alice in Wonderland. And almost all my time, 24 hours, was not enough. There was so much you could do with a computer. And soon I was called to the principal office for falling grades. Principal Saab is sitting here. With my technology skills, I grew a very small family agarbatti manufacturing business into a multi-million-dollar export house, supplying to the best retail markets around the world. However, this journey was not easy. I was very bored with this agarbatti business and soon went into technology and founded my first technology company that sets up IT infrastructure for big corporates and government. But again, like I said, this journey was not easy. I had a very tough time. Though I was good at technology, I was not really very good at finance. I was not good at marketing, at sales. And soon I lost almost the entire 5 crore rupees investment that I had made. And this got me thinking that there has to be a better way. I tried experimenting with technology available at that time, but unfortunately the technology that was available at that time was completely out of my reach. It was made for very big companies and it was extremely complicated to set up. This got me thinking, and I started experimenting with open source, and I started developing the tools I needed to solve my problems. And I was really surprised. Not only did I start helping myself, I even started helping a couple of my friends, and they got some really amazing results. So much so that I was called to several industry associations to give a talk on this topic and to try to help them. And this got me thinking. So when we look at the international economy and we talk about the MNCs, you will find that Indians are at the helm of most of the big MNCs. But unfortunately, we find that Indian entrepreneurs are still struggling. They are still dealing with day-to-day problems with firefighting, and unfortunately, this has restricted their growth. There are only 9 Indian companies in the global Fortune 500s. And that led me to my mission. And I then created a mission to why not help these entrepreneurs use cutting-edge technology and help them become global industry leaders and make India proud. And my vision is to get at least 100 Indian companies in the Fortune 500 in the next 15 years. Today, I'm going to challenge conventional wisdom and introduce you to an easy yet powerful solution that can completely turn around the world of business. Once again, I feel like Alice in Wonderland, but the rabbit hole that we are going to explore today is the exciting world of artificial intelligence. So AI is not new. Big companies have been using artificial intelligence since a long time to solve their business problems. Let me give you a very interesting example. UPS, an American company, used AI to optimize the routes for its trucks. Way back in the early 2000s, they took all the GPS data and they fed it into AI and asked AI the question, can you improve it? And you know what? AI came back and told them that why don't you stop turning left? Let us eliminate all the routes where the trucks have to turn left, because when they turn left, they have to wait at the red light. And you know what happened? The amazing results that UPS got. Not only were they able to save 10 million gallons of fuel in a year, they also reduced the CO2 emissions by 20,000 metric tons. So AI is not new. What's new? So what's new with AI is, from a special purpose technology that could only be used by big corporations, it has become a GPT. That is a general purpose technology. So there have been many GPTs in the past. Did you know that even the steam engine was a GPT? When the steam engine was introduced, the production of yarn in UK went up from 13 million pounds to 1 billion pounds in a year. Similarly, there were other GPTs. Even electricity was a GPT. Your telephone was a GPT. Automobiles were a GPT. Even the PC was a GPT. Even the mobile phone that you have in your pocket, it is also an example of how we transitioned from a special purpose technology to a GPT. When the mobile phones were introduced in India, only very few people could afford them. But with the telecom revolution, almost everyone, including rickshaw pullers, taxi drivers, everyone has a mobile phone, and it had an amazing impact on our economy. In the same way, eGPT has the power to change the world. And not only that, the speed at which these new GPTs are emerging is increasing rapidly. So our world is changing faster. Earlier, the world was changing every 100 years. Then it became every 10 years. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is changing faster every 2 years. AI as a GPT is incredibly powerful. It gives superpowers not only to the technical elite, but to common people like you and me, whether it is students, whether it is entrepreneurs. All of us can use its power, and it is also helping us revolutionize the world of business. So today, I'd like to give you a practical demo, a practical example of how anyone using this power can go from just an idea to a real business in just 4 steps. So what are these 4 steps? In the first step, we will use AI to generate a business idea, then create a business model, develop the processes to run the business, and then finally, we will use AI to make all the critical decisions. So let's move to step number 1. In this example, what we have done here is that we have asked AI a question to help us find a nice idea for a product based on manufacturing of wood targeting the Gen Z. And it came up with many ideas. And out of those ideas, I selected this idea that why not create some smart technology integrated furniture that includes Bluetooth speakers, ambient lights, maybe some displays. It would be nice, right? And once I have got the idea, next I have asked it to create a business model. Business models are very, very important. All the big startups you know about, they always continuously experiment with a business model first on paper to make sure that when you go out into the real world, you don't end up losing lakhs of rupees. So I evaluated multiple business models, and then with help of AI, we finalized one business model that would be perfect for our situation. Once I have the business model in place, now is the time to actually create processes. This is where we actually tell our people how exactly they have to run the business so that you don't end up making costly mistakes. As a business owner, you may be expert in one domain, maybe in 2 domains or in 3 domains. You cannot be expected to be an expert in each and everything. So what we have done here, that AI has come in as an expert advisor, and in all the areas where you are lacking, it will help you. So in this example, we ask AI to help us create a process to hire my people. Moving forward, We can also ask AI to create flowcharts and diagrams that can be used to explain this in a better way to my team members. Let me show you some more interesting cases how AI can help you in your business. So the first thing a startup needs is a nice website. And you know, creating a website is not easy at all. So what we have done here, we have just put in our startup idea into a website called mixo.io. And in a matter of just 2 minutes, we have an amazing website. Isn't this amazing? So something that would have actually taken you a couple of weeks is now done in a couple of minutes. Similarly, when I'm designing my products, this is another AI dream studio. I asked it to create a nice furniture, a bed that is integrated with technology, and you can see it's created an amazing idea for a bed. And this is not the only one. You can experiment with hundreds of such ideas. Then again, we used another AI to help us market our products. So I used the AI from Microsoft. This is designer.microsoft.com, and we just told it to create a nice brochure inviting people to our store. And it created an amazing brochure. Something that would have required me to spend huge amounts of time and money is done in a couple of minutes. Another example of AI as a universal translator. So not only can you ask AI to create text, to create images, now it is creating pictures for you, videos for you. So we have created here a video for Instagram, for YouTube Shorts that can be used. And this entire exercise took me just 5 minutes. I would have been spending more than 50,000 rupees and at least 15 days to do this. Isn't this amazing? And now coming to the step number 4. So once you're set up with your business, now comes the time to take decisions that are required to be done on an everyday basis. And businesses, they generate a lot of data. And understanding that data and making decisions takes time. And here, AI comes to the rescue. In this example, I uploaded a tender. This tender has got more than 100 pages into an AI called Claude. And in a matter of just 2 minutes, it generated a summary that I could read in just 5 minutes. Something that would have taken me at least 4 hours to understand, now I can understand in just 5 minutes. Isn't this amazing? So, to summarize, so these are the 4 steps I use very, very simply to generate an idea, create my business model, then set up my processes and take decisions. But along with these benefits, we also need to consider the dangers of AI. So AI is a powerful tool, like a long lever that can be used to lift heavy loads. And more powerful the tool, more potential of it getting misused. So the same way, like businesses are going to be using AI, I'm sure that criminal minds will also be using AI to conduct much bigger frauds and more organized hacking attempts. So we are all worried. But at the same time, I'm not worried so much about AI, but more about the minds that will be putting this AI to use. So how can we protect ourselves? How can we make sure that we don't end up on the other end of the bargain? So what I feel is that AI learns everything from humans. And if we don't want AI to harm us, then we have to teach it to become more humane. And to do that, what can we do? So we have to build an amazing culture, a solid culture, where we are teaching people to become more humane, to eliminate greed, and to instill integrity. So, in conclusion, how will AI help us shape the future of business? So in this new era, practically AI is doing just like magic. You can go from an idea to a business. It is making a dream into a reality. However, AI is not a creator. It is only an amplifier. So human creativity comes first. AI can only amplify what you give it to begin with. Ambitious thinkers, when start using this powerful AI, there is no limit to the world-changing businesses that they will create. So what is our job? How can we help this process? So our job as an educator is to help creators everywhere use this technology and to realize the potential of this technology, we have to teach them to go deeper into what makes us human. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It has been an honor to be graced by your words. We request Honorable Principal Sir, Mr. Sanjay Yadav, to present Mr. Sanjeev Jain a memento as a symbol of our gratitude.
Thank you, sir. We feel privileged to introduce Swami Prem Parivartan, also known by his other name People Baba. But before I get started on his various achievements, I would like to point out a very big flex on his part. He has a Wikipedia page. What? I mean, that's a whole new level of introduction. Oh yeah, and by the way, I have a Wikipedia. Search me up. But now, getting on his serious achievements. People Baba founded the Give Me Trees Trust, an NGO, in 2010. He, along with his dedicated team members, has planted over 20 million trees in 202 districts across 18 states and has continued this noble work for over 43 years now. He completed his master's degrees in English literature and journalism. He took asceticism in 1984 from Osho Rajneesh, an interesting man himself, who gave him the name Swami Prem Parivartan. His determinism could not be foiled by a mere pandemic, and he continued to plant trees even during the COVID-19, following social distancing norms, which showcase how immersed he is in the dream of his. He has also spoken out against the use of the bottled fresh air, that is, artificial air brought on the e-commerce sites. He truly embodies his motto, the more the number of trees, the better our planet will become. We request Sir to please ascend the stage and address the gathering.
In this world of artificial intelligence, I'm here to talk about cosmic intelligence. My grandmother, in 1976, 47 years ago, used to always tell me, do something meaningful in life. It's the easiest thing to earn money, because I come from a family of millionaires. My grandfather was one of the highest income tax payers of the country. So she would always say that earning money, I can teach you in one day. If you want to become a doctor, your father is a doctor. If you put in the right amount of resources, right number of hours, if you read the right kind of syllabus and the right kind of books, you will become a doctor. You will become an engineer. You will become a chartered accountant. You will become an MBA. But there is something more to life. My grandmother used to live in an ashram. She was a very spiritual person. And whatever I am today, and whatever the entire community of Give Me Trees Trust is today, the entire work that we are doing, we owe it to her. I had a class teacher in grade 4, Mrs. Williams. She would always talk about birds, bees, and butterflies. And she would always say that the cosmic intelligence is represented by grasses, plants, trees, birds, insects, reptiles, and mammals. she would always insist that we Homo sapiens are only one of the species of the 12.5 million other citizens species on the planet. Most of them, 50% of them, live in the oceans, the rest live in the forests, in the mountains, in the grasses, in the air. And Homo sapiens are the only species which are consumers. Now, this is something which I was informed 47 years ago. And that was the time when the vocabulary wasn't there of climate change, sustainability, tsunamis, natural disasters. We had not heard about them. There were no traffic jams. There was no talk about carbon sequestration. But then, what happened was, in January 1977, my grandmother started telling me, do something for the birds, do something for the butterflies, do something for the bees, do something to create a habitat for them. It was a time when the development had just stepped into India, and the roads were being widened and the trees were being chopped down. The trees under which we had played, we had studied, the massive banyan and the peepal trees and the neem trees, they were being chopped down right in front of our eyes. And we were helpless. Helpless to the extent that I used to cry with my tears in my eyes. I would ask my grandmother, what is it that we can do? And the magic happened in January 77 when my teacher and my grandmother, that enkindled that spark in me, saying, increase the tree population of the country. When you increase the tree population of the country, the magic starts to happen. You increase the biodiversity, you increase bird habitat, you increase insect habitat, you increase the soil preservation, the soil becomes better, the leaf fall helps in creating a new layer of soil, there is better water conservation, there is better rain, the rhythm of the rain comes back, the seasons get balanced, everything gets solved. Increase the vegetation of the country, increase the green content of the country. Now, with this idea, on 26th of January 1977, I stepped out to buy 9 saplings from a nursery in Pune. My father, an army doctor, he was posted in the local military hospital over there. I went to a nursery along with my gardener. We bought 9 saplings, and on 26th of January 1977, I planted the first 9 saplings on Range Hills Road, Kirki Cantonment, Pune. Those 9 trees are still there, even after 47 years. They have the canopy, they are the majestic trees. We started working on ficus species. What is the ficus species? There are 4 main trees in India which we call the ficus. One is gular, the pelkhan, the banyan, and then the peepal. Now, peepal is also considered as the sacred tree of India. It's called the Maharaj Vriksh, it's called the Pradhan Vriksh, means it's the king of the forest. Why? Because in itself it's a microcosm of the ecosystem. There are more than 140 species of birds which make it their habitat, the peepal tree. There are figs which are eaten by the squirrels and the monkeys and a host of other animals. So the start was that my grandmother asked me to start working on one single tree. Now here, the spark that she gave me was very, very beautiful. She said one day, you cannot change the world in all its ways. You have to pick your battle. I came from an army family. My father was a Fauji. So I immediately grabbed onto that idea. She said, tell me one thing that you will do. Don't do all the things. You cannot go around changing the world. There are too many problems. Pick up one thing. Choose your battle. I said, okay, I'll go for the peepal tree. Today, we have 1 crore 27 lakh people trees surviving out of the effort that me and, of course, the entire Give Me Trees community did. We formed 47 years ago, we created an eco club for children. The children were from grade 4 to grade 8 in Spicer School in Kirki in Pune. That eco club started going onto highways, state highways, empty parks, wasteland areas, barren pieces of land, and we started planting trees. We selected our species which were not requiring too much of water. Pune and Western Maharashtra have a wonderful track record of rains, so we weren't very challenged with that. The soil was very tough because the Deccan Plateau is a very, very hard nut to crack. So we had teams of children who were digging, we had teams of children who were watering, we had teams of children who were manuring, we had teams of children who were securing the plant and protecting the plant. When you plant a sapling, the job is not over, it has just begun. Planting a sapling means you have the responsibility for the next 5 years. Many people say it is 2 years, 3 years. My experience is it's 5 years. Because till the time, the little sapling is not a tree for 30 feet high or 25 feet high, and it has an independent canopy, and it is beyond the reach of the goats, cows, buffaloes, bluebills, and human beings, it is not safe. So this idea we developed, and the kin of ideas, of course, many ideas started coming in because the gardeners, farmers, and a lot of community people who were very, very enthused by the kind of work we are doing got onto the bandwagon. The first people, the first community which joined us, I was just 12 years old at that time, was the Indian Army. My father, being a major, young major at that time, he was working for the Armed Forces Medical College in Pune, and the local sub-area commander, the lieutenant colonels, the unit commanders, the chief of staff, the chief of the region, they started calling us and they started saying that we have some empty lands lying in our cantonment areas. Why don't you come? Why don't you bring your children? Why don't you bring your students? Why don't you bring your neighborhood? Bring your community and start planting over here. Because they were fearing encroachments. They were fearing civil encroachments. So we started working there. We got a lot of practice. When you work in different types of hydrology, different types of terrain, different types of soil, the experience comes in. So we became a very small field unit. In army terms, I would call it. It was a very mobile field unit. It was a field organization that we created. It was just a club, an eco club. It was only after 36 years of work in 2011, September 2011, when we met some luminaries from Bollywood, Mr. Mike Pandey, Mr. John Abraham, who enthused us, who motivated us, they enkindled that spark, and they gave us so many ideas that why don't you create an organization out of it? You have already done 2 lakh hectares of forestry land across the country in 18 states, 202 districts. Why don't you structure it properly? We did it. October 13, 2011, we were registered as Give Me Trees Trust. Now the trust became the spokesperson for the community of people who were working with us. What did I do? I worked for 25 years. Physically, yes, very active. On my motorcycle, on my duk-duk, I went across the country from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Northeast, Nagaland, Imphal, Guwahati, Tawang, Arunachal Pradesh, right up to Kutch. And we started motivating college students and young children into planting trees and taking care of them. Again, I'm saying, planting a sapling is no big deal. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It's just a 10-minute job. But actually taking care of that sapling, making sure that it becomes a nice habitat for birds, bees, and butterflies, that requires at least 5 years of labor. It's like delivering a child and then leaving it on the road. You can't do that. It's a great sin. So this is the kind of training we started giving. We established training centers across India. We have very active field units in 18 states, 202 districts, because predominantly we worked in 202 districts. These were representative districts in each and every state of India except Kerala. We haven't been able to start work in Kerala. In March 2020, when we went to Kerala to start our unit, COVID struck. So we were asked to leave Kerala. We had to fly back to Delhi, and we continued our work. During COVID also, we took passes from the administration, from the forest department, from the district magistrate, from the SDMs, the block development officers, and we made sure that all the 14 lakh saplings that were right there in our nurseries, we picked them up and we put them on the highways, we put them on the central dividers, we put them in the schools and colleges which were closed. There were many ashrams, there were many dharamshalas. We picked up the keys of the locks of the so many institutions that were closed down, and we started planting them. Throughout those 2 years of COVID, when most of the institutions were closed, we did that kind of work which we had not done for the past 20 years. And when it comes to the community, it was more of a spiritual, it's like spirituality in action. When we talk about trees, when I talk about cosmic intelligence, AI came about just about 10 to 15 years ago. Or maybe, we were just listening to ChatGPTs and AIs. This is fantastic, It is going to be revolutionary. I know we are going to have a very different world 5 years from now. As my grandmother would always say, temples, mosques and gurdwaras don't give you oxygen. They don't give you oxygen. And it was proved during COVID. What gives you oxygen? She would say, chlorophyll is God. Patta hi Paramatma hai. Chlorophyll is God because chlorophyll creates photosynthesis. Photosynthesis creates oxygen, and that is why you are here listening to me, and that is why I am here on this red dot talking to you. So trees, plants, grasses, our natural world is what keeps us where we are today. Technology, business, entrepreneurship, very important, because you need money to have a comfortable life. You need to have it to have a luxurious life or a comfortable life or whatever. But there are two words, comfortable life. You can make it comfortable only if you have life. If there is no life, what are you going to make comfortable? So life has to be understood first. And for that, our natural resources need to be preserved. Now, what does the Gimme Trees, the trust community, what does it do? We are completely self-funded. We don't go out there asking for donations, asking for people. Of course, we ask for it in a very gentle way. People who come and work on the field with us, people who work on the highways with us, people who work on the green belts, people who work on the forest restoration, social forestry projects, agriculture projects. We are trying to motivate the farmers not to use chemical farming. We are getting into agroforestry in a big way, 2,70,000 hectares of land has been greened in a very organic way. Today, we have, most of our projects have been declared as forests. Half of them have been declared as bird sanctuaries. And that is the best certificate that we could get. But are we really doing it for that? No. What really keeps us happy and healthy is that when we see the birds coming and making their nests on our trees, that is where it really matters. What are we doing right now? We are focusing for the last 7 years on education. We are going to schools. We have covered 6,000 schools across the country. We are doing workshops. We are doing butterfly walks. We are doing insect walks. We are talking entomology. We are trying to, the avian science. We are trying to talk about migratory birds. Because everybody is talking IIT, they are talking medical, they are talking NEET, they are talking MBA. We heard so much about investments. We are talking about artificial intelligence. These things are very important if you have a happy and healthy life. If you have a happy and healthy life, happiness and health will come from the natural world. Happiness and health. Whenever you have a vacation, where do you head to? You head to the hill stations. Why do you head to the hill station? First, because we are naturally connected. That is to the greenery. We are naturally connected to cold weather. You know, our ancestors used to live in the forest. We came down from the forest, we became hunter-gatherers, then we became cave dwellers. After cave dwellers, then we came to the river systems, to the water bodies. Then we had small villages. That is where the civilization started. And just about 5,000 years ago, we started writing, we started communicating, we had a good language. Before that, it was total sign language. So we are just new to this planet. This is something which the young generation needs to understand. We are very new to the planet. We are just about 5,000 years old. And this cosmic intelligence has been here for 400 million years old. 400 million. They have the entire intelligence, the entire technology, as TED says, you know, technology, entertainment, and design. The technology God has always given us, we just need to plug into it. Entertainment, if we create meaningful actions in our life, it will keep us entertained. The design, nature has already designed everything in a very perfect way. We just need to wake up, we just need to open our eyes, we just need to be aware, we just need to meditate, we just need to be in silence. Let that cosmic intelligence take over, and let that cosmic intelligence, it guide us where we need to go. Today in Delhi, we are talking about smog, we are talking about AQI. If we don't have, now this is one thing that I would like to pose to my young generation, my young friends, very, very important. If you don't have good health, what will you do with investments? If you don't have health, if you're not happy, if people in your family are coughing and they are having cancer and they are having diabetes, they are having blood pressure problems, they are having so many health problems. Entire Delhi is sick. 75% of the people are sick right now. In India, we are having so many lifestyle problems. First, we need to talk about health. Environment issue here, I would like to conclude by saying, environment is, friends, it is not a third-party issue. We are the environment. We are that natural system. We are just a reflection of what is outside. If your air is not good, you cannot be good. That is what the oncologists say. How can we treat cancer? We can give you chemotherapy, we can give you radiotherapy, but then the moment you step out, you are stepping into poisonous air. You are stepping into toxic air. Can that be resolved? Of course it can be resolved. Whatever you think, it can happen. There are 4 lakh community members across the country who are 24/7/365 working for this objective. They are going to schools, they are going into colleges, they are only talking about the natural world. They are talking birds, bees and butterflies. They are talking about tree species. They are talking about city forests. They are talking about bird sanctuaries. They are talking about wetlands and ponds and creating water harvesting units. And there is so much satisfaction in them. And lastly, I would like to say, most of the people who are working with us, they are very progressive, they are very educated, and they are very, very prosperous. But you know what? They are not happy. They are not happy. And when they work on the field, when they work with the soil, when they work with the saplings, when they work in the forest, when they work with the birds, when they run after butterflies to take a nice video of it, when they go and pick up the beetles and take it and show it to their family members, that is what brings happiness to them. So the happiness lies in the natural world. This is something we need to recognize. We think the happiness and health lies in the material world. Material world, again I'm saying, is important to give you a comfortable life. But friends, first you need to have a life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Your ideas were truly motivating for all of us. I would now request the respected director, sir, Dr. Ashok Pandey, to present Mr. People Baba a memento to express our gratitude. Thank you, sir.
Gratitude is the most exquisite form of courtesy. Today, if we can go home with an idea of a beautiful tomorrow, many have contributed to it. Let us be grateful to the people who made us thoughtful. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. With this, I request the Vice Principal, Mr. Puneet Duggal, to kindly propose a vote of thanks for the event.
Thank you. Good afternoon, respected speakers, director sir, principal sir, our guest, HMs, the audience of this TEDxAhlcon International School, organizing committee, each and every member who is present here. First of all, I would like to thank the management of Alcon International School, the vision, the leadership, who has given the opportunity to all of us as a team to organize events like this, Alcon International School. So I personally thank our director, Dr. Ashok Pandey, our principal, Mr. Sanjay Yadav, and the entire fraternity of Alcon International who has supported us in terms of this event. I personally thank Mr. Gaurav Sharma, the admin officer, who has worked tirelessly for this event. I must also thank Dr. Ekta Ratra, my co-organizer for this event. Let me tell you, she has worked tirelessly 24/7 along with the event coordinator, Ms. Rashmi. Her entire team, I think they deserve a very loud round of applause. I would like to specially mention about the role of our students here. One compliment early morning I received in the conference room when we were receiving the speakers, that how you actually train your students, what special you do, and the way they have handled everything. I think the credit goes to the entire Alcon family, the teachers, the upbringing, their parents, that how they manage an event of such magnitude, which with lot of precision, perfection. So my gratitude to the entire organizing committee, all these young students, and I think they have done all of us proud. So big clap for them also. Why this TEDxAhlcon International School is so special? What is the USP? I think we have a diverse audience sitting here, mostly students, but we have few teachers also, someone coming from outside also. This entire event talks about various speakers, their talks, which have really inspired us, and I think you must have had at least one or two takeaways to take your life forward. In Alcon International School, we give a lot of importance to the education beyond textbooks. Personally, I have an experience of using TED Talks and integrate into a classroom teaching. and most of the teachers do that. When we prepare these students for life ahead, it is very, very important to cross the borders of those textbooks. So dear students and teachers, the opportunity this TEDx has given you is that go back and reflect that the curriculum which is taught to you, because the life will go beyond the only textbooks and your marks and grades. There is a lot to learn from each and every speaker, each and every talk. And I think in Alcon International School, we have tried it. We have the evidences that if we talk to students about these TED Talks in the classrooms, we talk to teachers in the capacity building program, it has an impact. That is why these TED Talks, TEDx is so special, and it is actually impacting the community at large. I would also like to say that with new education policy now implemented in the country, the entire vision of the education in India is changing very fast. And I'm sure these kind of opportunities integrating into your curriculum, education and life skill is going to actually take you forward. And as the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister is to make India a developed nation by 2047, it cannot happen without the effort of each one of you sitting here. So I, in the end, would like to thank the entire audience for coming up, taking out time, and I'm sure that dream of making India a developed nation by 2047 will be achieved by the young students like you, and I think the eminent guest speakers like we had today and our visionaries. Thank you everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words.
In the tapestry of our collective existence, inspiration arrives as a gentle breeze from afar, while the spark of an idea ignites and enkindles every bit of our emotions, like an amber glowing with inherent brilliance. With reverence and gratitude, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to our esteemed speakers for gracing this gathering with their profound wisdom. John Keats once penned, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." Similarly, we all have got that today, thing of beauty, which will remain a joy for all of us forever. And we wish that you all enjoyed the show as much as we did. Amidst this symphony of the shared wisdom, we express our heartfelt gratitude to all who graced the TEDxAhlconIntl 2023. You have been an amazing audience, and your presence has woven this tapestry of innovation and inspiration. So, as this chapter concludes, it marks the genesis of the new beginnings. Until we meet again to nurture the fresh ideas, let today's conversations continue to spark innovation. Thank you, everyone. We request